ladies and gentlemen. I understand the work. All right, the verdict form appears to be in order. Madam Clerk, please call this verdict. Ladies and gentlemen, hearken to your verdict.
The Circuit Court, 4th Judicial Circuit, in Fort County, Florida, case number 16, 2005, CF 10263BXXX, Division CRB, State of Florida versus Alan Lindell Wade. We the jury find as follows as to Alan Lindell Wade. In this case, aggravating factors as to count 2, James Reginald Sumner. We the jury unanimously find that the state has proven the following aggravating factors beyond a reasonable doubt as to Alan Lindell Wade in this case. Number 1, Alan Lindell Wade was previously convicted of another capital felony. Number 2, the first degree murder was committed while Alan Lindell Wade was engaged in the commission of any kidnapping. Number 3, the first degree murder was committed for the purpose of avoiding.
Leslie, go ahead and read it.
Yes or no? Alan Lindell Wade was previously convicted of another capital felony, yes. Number 2, the first degree murder was committed while Alan Lindell Wade was engaged in the commission of any kidnapping, yes. Number 3, the first degree murder was committed for the purpose of avoiding or preventing lawful arrest, no. Number 4, the first degree murder was committed for financial gain, yes. Number 5, the first degree murder was especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel, no. Number 6, the first degree murder was committed in a cold, calculated, and premeditated manner without any pretense of moral or legal justification, yes. Number 7, James Reginald Sumner was particularly vulnerable due to advanced age or disability, yes. Reviewing the aggravating factors that were unanimously found to be established beyond a reasonable doubt, Section A, we the jury unanimously find the aggravating factors are sufficient to warrant the possible sentence of death, yes. C, mitigating circumstances, one or more individual jurors find that one or more mitigating circumstances was established by the greater weight of the evidence, yes. D, eligibility for the death penalty for count 1, we the jury unanimously find that the aggravating factors that were proven beyond a reasonable doubt, Section A, outweigh the mitigating circumstances established, Section C, as to count 1, no.
Members of the jury, I'm going to have to ask you to step back in the back. There is some answers that will very end that need to be responded to.
They're not supposed to do the last paragraph. They don't find unanimous in step 4.
Should I just read it again?
If no, and you raise the vote.
That's
And
only,
there's a place for the vote.
that's only if they get to step 5. They only do a vote on step 5. So they just answered no, they do not find that the aggravators outweigh the mitigators, so the verdict is left. They're done. They don't go to step 5.
And everyone come back.
I was trying to. Yours, Aaron?
Yeah, I will come back to it. Give me the full one. Sorry, the jury's returned. Be seated, ladies and gentlemen. I may have misinterpreted my own jury verdict form. It's been a long week, sorry. Okay. All right, that concludes the reading of the verdict as to the death of Mr., I'm sorry, what did you read? Okay. Proceed.
The jury finds as follows as to Alan Linda Wade. In this case, A, aggravating factors as to count 1, Carol Sumner. B, the jury unanimously find the statements proven the following aggravating factors beyond a reasonable doubt as to Alan Linda Wade. In this case, 1, Alan Linda Wade was previously convicted of another capital felony. Yes. Number 2, the first-degree murder was committed while Alan Linda Wade was engaged in the commission of any kidnapping. Yes. Number 3, the first-degree murder was committed for the purpose of avoiding or preventing a lawful arrest. No. Number 4, the first-degree murder was committed for financial gain. Yes. Number 5, the first-degree murder was especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel. No. Number 6, the first-degree murder was committed in a cold, calculated, and premeditated murder without any pretense of moral or legal justification. Yes. Number 7, Carol Sumner was particularly vulnerable due to the advanced age or disability. Yes. Sufficiency of the aggravating factors as to count 1, reviewing the aggravating factors that we unanimously found to be established beyond a reasonable doubt in Section A, we, the jury, unanimously find the aggravating factors are sufficient to warrant a possible sentence of death. Yes. C, mitigating circumstances. 1 or more individual jurors find that 1 or more mitigating circumstances established by the greater weight of the evidence. Yes. Eligibility for the death penalty for count 1, we, the jury, unanimously find that the aggravating factors that were proven beyond a reasonable doubt in Section A outweigh the mitigating circumstances established in Section C. As to count 1, no. Dated the 16th day of June 2022 in Duval County, Florida, signed the foreperson.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Any polling for the jury?
No, Your Honor.
Any reason the sentence should not now be imposed?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Wade, if you'll step to the bench, please.
Your Honor, just confirm there's no victim impact.
I'm sorry?
We confirm there's no victim impact. I just want to make sure that there's no additional risk from the victim's family.
Okay.
For their constitutional right, I assume no victim impact? No victim impact, we're done? We can get sentenced to life right now? We're good, Your Honor.
Mr. Wade, step to the bench. Mr. Wade, you have previously been found guilty by a jury of your peers of the homicides of Carol and Reggie Sumner. another jury of your peers having found that you should be imposed, that a sentence should be imposed against you should be life imprisonment, but not death. I hereby impose that sentence. I remand you to the custody of the Department of Corrections of the state of Florida to remain in custody for the remainder of your natural life. If you believe there's anything illegal about this sentence or this trial, you have 30 days within which to appeal.
I asked those sentences one consecutive.
I'm sorry?
I asked those sentences one consecutive.
That would not be inappropriate. I would do so. All right.
Your Honor, he has 904 days of previous credit plus his more state prison time and 1,872 days.
All right, he's entitled to that credit for time served. Take him down. Members of the jury, you have now concluded your obligation for the summons which brought you in here this week. I can only tell you that all of us who regularly work here in this system, appreciate the commitment that you have made to participate in this now almost 2 full weeks. We understand that none of this is simple, and we understand the importance and the impact that your decision has made today. For 2 weeks now, I have told you not to talk about this with anybody. I will now tell you, you have the absolute right to discuss your participation in this trial with anybody that you want to. You have the equally absolute right to refuse to discuss your participation in this trial with anybody that you want to, with one minor exception. I think I mentioned this earlier last week, and that would be there are limited instances in which I, as the presiding judge, might be required as a matter of law to ask you questions about the deliberation process. No one will ever question your verdict, but there might be something like that. It almost never happens, but I feel compelled to tell you that that is a chance. In any event, you are free to talk about it with anybody that you want to or not. With my thanks, please have a pleasant afternoon and evening. Jury is discharged. The jury has left the courtroom. Anything further from the state?
I just want to make sure the record is clear that the 2 murders are to run consecutive to each other. I don't know if it's clear that they're to run consecutive to kidnapping and one wrong. State's request is that the murders run consecutive to each other.
Yeah, the other sentences I think are already imposed, but in any event, I agree. Anything further from the defense? And this matter stands concluded.